KST. I would like to talk about language history of America and Canada. First, I'm talking about introduction of America and Canada. Secondly, Kimi talking about the process of language history in USA and Canada. Thirdly, Dylan is talking about Canada and USA of recent days. Finally, Saya is talking about conclusion. I'm talking about America and Canada. So I'm introduced to America. It has 50 states. Capital is Washington. So the president is Barack Obama. So religion is almost Christian. Few people Islam and Judaism. Language is English. So US people composed of white people about 60%, African people about 20%, Asian people 40%, and so on. Next, introduce to Canada. So capital is Ottawa. Canada area is very large. It is 27 times the largest of Japan. President is Elizabeth II. Language is English and French. Canada people composed of 200 races. Next, Kimi.
Hello, I'm Kimi. I will introduce about the process of language history in USA and Canada. My main ideas are two countries' relationship with Britain as both English colonies and the remaining traces from Britain's occupation in US and Canada. As you can see that America was once occupied by UK and then it became the old country America. And Canada was once occupied by France and then UK and finally it's becoming Canada. First, I will talk about two countries' relationship with Britain as both English colonies. As American history, their first settler was Britain. Although for the Canadians, the first enemy was France and then British. However, we can easily find out that both two countries had a time to be occupied by British. The British had a large number of colonies at that time. And these countries, which are settlement of Britain, had to speak British English, although some countries like America and Canada have got independence from Britain. Moreover, they tend to and try to develop their own English. For example, in USA, even they took 400 years to state their own English. However, from the 1607, which the Britain landed at Virginia, the Americans improved their English history so far, which the Britain and they were independent when Declaration of Independence, signed by the King, British and accepted. Then the American English called English and spread it into all over the world, and the alternative English by Britain called British English, and sometimes people criticize their academic spellings, pronunciations, meanings, grammar, vocabulary, structures, and functions. Furthermore, in 1783, Noah Webster published a book called the American Spelling Book. After that, American Dictionary of the English Language. Next, I will talk about the remaining traces from Britain's occupation in US and Canada. As I mentioned before, the both countries are now fully developed as one country, not colonies of Britain or France anymore. However, in the USA, they seem to go from Britain. For instance, there are a number of vocabularies, grammars, pronunciations, and spelling in British American English which are sometimes totally different than the original English. For example, in Britain it's called trousers, but American it's called pants. And for opposite side, the British call this pants and American call this underwear. And also the British call this motorway and the American call this freeway. And compared to Canada, the Canadian call toilet as toilet, and the American call it loo or washroom. And Canadian call pocket as a pocket, and the American call it hockey or ice hockey. And Canadians sometimes say you're alright, and Americans say that's how are you. In summary, as you can see that the American English and British English, both once the colonies of Britain, though the situations are a little bit different. The American wants to be independent, but seems like more than Canadian. And next we will lead this topic to the current situation in US and Canada. What's happening now, the both becoming now closely as the Britain before. You will see.
Hello everyone, I'm Lina. I'm about Canada and USA of recent while each country accepts colonies of a constellation of countries. Canada also Chinese, Filipino, Indian, and especially. By the way, in Canada, Chinese colonies belong the highest 3,000 people and April this year. But why Chinese want to acquire permanent residence status in Canada? They have no idea to change nationality. By the same token, 20, 30 years, white person population will stand in line to become right down in Vancouver. This factor increase of Chinamen citizens. 2006 years, non-white persons population was 41%. But they live like 59% population in Metro Vancouver. Only America similar to Canada. But America has many overweight people than Canada. Also, colonies have little overweight people because they don't become familiar with the habits of life. Final conclusion presented by
Hi everyone, I'm Sayama Shima, and this is my chance to speak in conclusion. My group members studied the United States and Canada, difference of language history, immigrants, colony, and immigrated language. Before we researched, there are no differences of United States and Canada, because both of them are multiracial nations, so various races are in there, such as Spanish, Chinese, French, and Filipino. And also there are neighborhood countries, so we thought there are no differences. Actually, we could find several differences. Maybe nobody can find them. Big difference is language. United States and Canada was founded by England. So first of all, they were speaking English. However, before independent, they also independent or built their English. If you can understand this process and history, our pleasure.